All right. Hey, what's up, guys? It's T.Aubrey. I know it's been like a year since I've done any interviews, and I know I said I was going to do a lot of them, but now we're back finally, and we're going to start doing them. So this one, I've got Elijah Heaps. Elijah Heaps is an artist from out here in Dallas, but you're not. Well, you're not from Dallas originally.
No, I'm from Orange County, Irvine, California. Spent like the first part of my childhood and teen years out there. Moved out to Dallas when I was 18, I believe, 17, 18 years old.
Okay.
And I've been here since then. It's been a long ride.
So, were you making music out there before you moved here?
Yes and no. I mean, I've been a musician practically my whole life since I was 5, 6 years old. My mom, she loves music, and she's the reason I'm into music. Is she bought me a drum set when I was like 6 years old, and there's videos of me like 6, 7, 8 just banging on the drums. I sucked obviously because I was a little kid, but I got into guitar when I was like 8 years old, and kind of just spent my life, like in little not serious bands and creating covers and recording myself and just kind of doing music for fun. Like
Yeah.
how anybody starts that really loves something, they just spend a lot of their time just curating their sound, making things that sound like what they like and trying
Yeah.
to be like their idols. So yeah, I've been making music my whole life, but the way I'm doing it now, I've been doing for probably about 10 years. When I was
Gotcha.
in middle school.
So after you moved to Texas?
Yeah. No. Actually, before I moved to Texas,
Okay, cool,
when I was my sophomore year, I was 15. I made my first like remix when I was in 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Um,
To like a rap song?
yeah, it was actually I didn't even listen to rap until 8th grade.
Do you remember what song it was?
I know exactly about it. It's like this. So I used to ride the bus when I was all grown up, obviously, like a lot of us did. My parents couldn't take me to school because
Yeah.
my mom and my dad, they both worked really hard, and my dad was always out of town. So I would ride the bus, and every few days there would be somebody on the bus, like this older guy who would always be like listening to rap music out of his phone. And
Yeah.
one day I was on the bus, and this kid from the back of the bus comes up, like I think he was a high schooler, and he smacked me in the head just for no reason, like open palm smacked me, and it hurt really bad, and I think I started to cry, and like it was this big ordeal on the bus, and I yelled at him, and I thought this kid was gonna beat me up, and this kid from the back of the bus that listened to rap music, he comes up and he fucking chokes this guy out on
Oh,
the
fuck.
bus. And he's like, "Leave him alone," blah blah blah. And he looks at me, he's like, "Are you good, dude?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." He's like, "I'm Gary." He's like, "I get my car back tomorrow." He's like, "You're not riding the bus anymore." He's like, "I'm gonna come pick you up from your house." And I was like,
Oh, for real?
"Okay."
Damn.
I was like, "Cool." And this guy pulled up in this nice turbocharged Mazda 3 that was yellow. I remember it. Loud exhaust. Freaking 7 in the morning, come pick me up for 8th grade. And we're driving to school, and this dude's smoking a freaking cigarette. Like, he's like a sophomore at best.
Yeah.
Smoking a cigarette, just being bad. And I could tell he was just this like wild kid, And I grew up like listening to rock music mostly. For the earlier part of my life, I couldn't even listen to anything but like Christian music and like 70s
Oh,
music.
for real?
Yeah, my dad was a pastor, and so he wouldn't let me listen to like anything like
Yeah.
remotely worldly or whatever. Like my mom listened to like 70s and 80s rock, and so did my dad. So they would let me listen to that, Led Zeppelin, whatever, blah blah blah, Christian rock, Christian hard
Yeah.
rock, sometimes Christian rap, whatever. It was the worst. And so this guy picked me up, and he's listening to this rap song, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, this is Lil Wayne's new track, Lollipop. And I was like, what? I was like, Lollipop? And he's like talking about licking him like a lollipop. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is this song? And I just became obsessed with Lil Wayne. And so I went home like probably a week later or so, and I found the Lollipop instrumental and like recorded a version of Lollipop.
That's hilarious.
But it was also kind of like mixed with like the Framing Hanley I don't know if you've ever heard
Yeah,
that
I have.
version,
Yeah.
but, like super dope
That's just
rock
crazy.
version of Lollipop.
Yeah.
So I made this like mix of like rap and rock. It sucked so bad, but a couple of my friends were like, dude, that's pretty cool. Like Because I'd always recorded myself playing like Under Oath. I love Under Oath. Aaron Gillespie is the drummer and singer for Under Oath. And he's one of my biggest inspirations, being a drummer and then also wanting to be a singer. I was like, this guy does both of what I love. And so a couple of my friends were like, yeah, that's cool. So I started like personally like recording some like little remixes and stuff. I did a lot of remixes when I was in like 8th, 9th grade. And so 10th grade rolls around, fast forward, I'm living in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma for 1 year before I moved to Dallas. And I was going to this high school that was just like, like half black, half white. And I'm in Tulsa, and it was like big culture shock moving from the West Coast. I didn't go straight from California to Dallas. I spent like a few years, like a couple years in Portland, Oregon, a couple years in Spokane, Washington. Then I came down for a year to Tulsa. And that was like 8th grade to 10th grade. I spent in all these weird places, everything beforehand, California, everything after here. But in Oklahoma, I was just sitting at lunch one day, didn't have any friends. I just moved there. I was used to it because I moved around a lot. And this kid comes up to me, just like baggy pants, freaking faded haircut, big oversized t-shirt. And he's like, hey, white boy. And I was like, he's like, I heard you record music. And I was like, nah. He's like, nah, I heard one. And this girl that I like kind of liked in one of my classes that I like told her that I recorded music, told this kid that I record. And he's like, I'm trying to record some raps. He's like, I'm coming over today. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't even know you.
Yeah. Did you have your own setup already?
Yeah. That year, I had done some sketchy things. I didn't have a job. I was only 15. Yeah. So I did some things and got some money together. Yeah. And I flipped candy bars.
Dude, people do that in school. It works.
But like...
People used to do that in school.
I got the candy bars.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then I'd go sell them at school for $2.
Yeah.
And I did that until I had like $150.
That's
I
crazy.
did it for weeks. Me and Nick actually, and we bought this like USB microphone, and I had a little laptop, and I got Logic on there, Logic Pro, which I still use to this day, and that was what I made my music on. And so this dude, he's like, yeah, I'm coming over today, blah blah blah. He's like, I'll meet you out front of the school after school, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, whatever. And so I meet this guy after school, and we walk home together, and this dude turns out to be a rapper. And, like, pretty good rapper, too. And,
for real?
Yeah, and he was like, let me show you some of my stuff. And he's like, you make beats? And I was like, not really.
Yeah.
He's like, you should make some beats. He's like, you play the guitar, you can make beats. And I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't know anything about this whole, like, DIY scene or whatever. I wasn't even into any of that yet. And, so, like, our friendship progressed. We actually ended up being best friends. That dude got me into rap music, and before I could even, like, write raps, he would, like, help me write them. And then, like, I could write, like, really good hooks. I've always been, like, a hook person, and I would, like, sing hooks, and he would rap, and we had this little group and stuff with another couple singers, and Nick, and, like, we just made a bunch of music. And, so the years I moved down to Dallas, and I was like, all right, my junior year, I was like, all right, I'm going to release a mixtape. Like, I'm going to record a whole mixtape this year. It's going to be, like, 20 tracks. I'm going to drop it. And I did. And, like, it sucked. Like, it was
Was it all rap? Like, rap?
No, dude. No? It was, like... I think I've showed you it a little bit before.
Yeah, you probably have.
Remember when we were chilling that one day with Zach, and I was, like, showing you all that old stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny because it sucks. Like, it's not good now in perspective, but you listen to it, and you're like... Dude, you can totally tell it's me from, like... a long time ago, like,
for sure,
and I was already doing stuff like using auto-tune and like putting distortion on my vocals because I didn't know how to mix. I was just like literally just like plugging in things, trying to like make my voice sound cool. And that's why like my vocal mixing style now is very like experimental. Like you listen to a lot of my songs and it's not like the right way to do it, but it sounds really cool and like really weird and just wild. It comes from just like experimenting with my vocals when I was coming up.
That's crazy.
So yeah, my music, it wasn't that good, but like recording a whole mixtape by yourself, 20 tracks at like 15 years old, that really like shows you stuff. And like I started to get like people around my school were like, hey, I heard your mixtape. And like my school, like somebody in the broadcasting organization, shout out Bobby Gessel,
Shout
One
out
of
Bobby
my-
Gessel.
Yeah, Bobby Gessel. He was the first person to ever shoot a music video for me, and
Oh, that's tight.
we
Hell
shot
yeah.
it in my high school, and like the broadcasting organization, he was the head of it, and so he like promoted my video and the whole mixtape over the broadcasting. So like
For the
we
school,
came
that's
in
awesome.
first period, and they would play the broadcast, and like the feature one day was me, and like
That's crazy.
And so now the whole
They play your music
school-
video in
they
front of
played
the school?
video because so from 15 to 17. My first 3 mixtapes I made, I didn't cuss at all.
Yeah, I was gonna
because-
ask you that. Yeah.
Partially because of my dad, like my dad hated that I started making rap music. Like
Yeah.
nothing crushed him, I think. But like he supported it, you know. He was like, all right, cool. And I was like, I don't want to cuss. And for my mom too, you know, I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
And I have a good heart at
For sure.
at the core of it. So I was like, I want to make my parents happy, you know. And my mom loved that I was making music finally and like putting it out there and
Yeah.
stuff. And yeah, I'm not a rock star, but like I'm making these little raps and whatever.
So.
But yeah, now the whole school knew.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was wild. It
That
was
is wild.
crazy, but it led me to where I am. You know, now people were like, "Yeah, I like your music. When's new music coming out?" And I was like,
Oh
"I
yeah.
don't know. I just like wanted to make a mixtape, so I guess I'm gonna make another one." So from 15 till I was 18, every year I made a new project, 20-track project, like 15,
Oh, wow.
16, 17, and 18. And the one when I dropped when I was 18 was called 18.
Hell
And
yeah.
like
Yeah, I
I
think I
just-
think you showed me some of that one too.
yeah, they're and they all progressively get a little better. And like
Yeah.
18's not bad. Like I was like when I made it, I was like,
Yeah.
I made this. Like that was the first thing I was proud of, and that was like when I first like got played on like a small like couple radio stations around the country, and like started to like reach out to other people, and you know but yeah, I did that, and
That's
can we
crazy.
keep going? This is
Well, yeah.
like-
So,
this
well, at what point did you come to Dallas?
Dallas was that year when I dropped
18. So when you were
yeah.
18.
Yeah, when I was 18, I came to Dallas. Actually, it was the project before. It was like when I was like 17 or whatever. And but I came to Dallas, and when I got to Dallas, I like realized that there was like a big music scene.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask about because I remember I started shooting videos, and so what year did you move here?
I don't remember.
Was it like 2012?
It was around like 2012.
2012. Okay,
2013.
cool. So I started shooting videos in 2014, and I think I ended up hearing about you in like probably around that time, or maybe 2015.
So what happened is I moved here.
Yeah.
And I graduated high school, and my dad wanted me to go to college, and like
Yeah.
they wanted me to like be a doctor, and like I was kind of like, all right, I'll be a doctor, I'll
Yeah.
be rich, like I'm smart, you know, I can do that
Yeah.
shit. And I went to college for like a year and a half, and I was so depressed, bro. I quit making music. Like I literally
Yeah.
like got rid of my microphone, like sold one of my guitars. Like I was like, you know, music's over. I was like, you know, I'm out of band now, and like I was on drumline, and I quit making music, and I was just so depressed, dude. I was like, I got a full-blown cocaine addiction, and like was drinking every night, and like
And you weren't making any music?
literally nothing, just like partying and working 40
Yeah.
hours a week. I was like managing a restaurant.
So
And-
what was like you dropped out eventually, right? So
Yeah.
what was like the breaking point?
My breaking point was like I literally, like everybody says this at one point in their life, but I think it was like I was like on the verge of suicide. I was like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I
Yeah.
believed in. I was like just like being not me. I didn't feel like me. I just felt like this person that everybody in my life wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And that was when like that was when I sat down with my mom one night, and she was like, Elijah, she was like, you need to drop out.
Oh wow,
I was
really?
like, what? And she was like, you're miserable. She's like, you don't want to do this. And I like turned down going on like this small tour with one of my friends, and like
Yeah.
so many opportunities, and I was just crying, and I was like, I think you're right. I was like, I need to make music again. And around that time is when I met Chex, and
Yeah.
Chex was just like he was just working at this restaurant. He was a cook at this restaurant that
That's
I was
your
managing,
DJ and
bartending.
photographer, right?
Chex, shout out Chex, my freaking main man, my rock. He's my DJ, my photographer, my graphic designer,
Yeah.
my like
He's a lot.
anything that I need done. Like I'm like, Checks, we need to do this. He's like, all right, we'll make it happen.
That's fire.
And I used to ask him all the time. I was like, yo, can we like? I'd be like, yo, do you think we could set up a tour on the West Coast? And he goes, quit asking me if we can do stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know him.
Yeah.
He's like, quit asking me if we can do stuff. He goes, if you want to do it, we'll do it. And I was like, all right. So I never asked him anymore, like, can we do this? I was like, hey, we're setting up a tour. And we did it. Like, everything I've ever told Checks, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
That's
and
fire.
like, and he holds me to it. He's like, you said you wanted to do this. Like, are we going to continue on with this? And I'm like, yeah or no. And, you know, I met Checks around then, and me and Checks we would, you know, go smoke a blunt after work every night and sit in this apartment complex, and just like, I would show him like, so I started making music again, like not serious. I was just kind of experimenting again, trying to find this like new sound. I was in Dallas. I was going to a lot of shows and underground shows and like looking at artists that were around and shit. This is when I really, really got into like the underground and SoundCloud and,
yeah,
you know, around like
just like 2015. 2014.
2014, 2013 even.
Yeah, true.
Like I was just like getting into like stuff like Bones and like,
yeah,
you know, Spooky Black, one of my favorite underground artists, Corbin now.
Yeah.
He really got me into like the beautiful ambient dark stuff, Young Lean. Just like all the really experimental artists. And Travis Scott honestly had a lot to do with it. He's not necessarily underground, but he's got that very progressive experimental sound.
So coming back to music after what, like a year and a half?
2 years
hiatus,
not touching it.
Was it like, did you start again kind of making what you're making when you left, or was it just like a brand new,
completely different?
Yeah, so you just jumped into like a new.
Dude, I dabbled like in that 2 years. You know, I said I was doing a lot of drugs and stuff. What really I credit to like, it's something that like I would never do again. Something that like where I wouldn't want to be again. But what happened is I think I just completely mentally broke down who I was.
Yeah.
And just ended up being nobody and nothing. And then I messed around with some psychedelics. And just like had this very profound spiritual moment one time off some acid, and was like, I have to reinvent who I am as a human being, like from the core, because I felt like at that point I'd never known who I was.
Yeah.
Like I was just this outcome, this image, this person that like everybody around me wanted to be, from my father to my mom, the church, my friends, my good friends, my bad friends, like everybody. I was just like trying to please everybody. I would lie to people to make them like me, and like flex on people about things I'd never done. And like I had this realization like, yo, I can't be this human being anymore. Yeah. Like, I need to just be so me that like people almost hate me for it. Like, but that way nobody can get mad and be like, you're fake or you're not you. So I came
at
back.
that point, your music was more representative of you as a person.
I'd been through so much. I'd almost died from drugs a couple times. Like I had completely taken what my life was, and in that span of almost 2 years, my experiences were so different. You know, 18, everything changes after you're 18.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. And I'm really glad all that bad shit happened to me, because it built me into who I am.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
You know? And so when I started making music again, it went from like this, like, you know, when I was younger, it had this innocent, like kind of fun tone to it, to like now I've got this like really dark. My music was so dark when I started. Like it was so dark and like ambient and experimental, because I was A, on a lot of drugs, and B, I was going through a lot, like from like depression. I had formed a really bad anxiety, you know, like I got anxiety from doing things too much, and like
for sure,
you know, I was just like this messed up human that just wanted to be good now.
So
I just wanted to be like actually be good, not act like I'm good.
Right.
Know?
So was it hard to transition? Like I'm assuming it was, especially with like drugs or whatever. Was it hard to transition like out of that, at least as heavily as you were?
Totally. You know, I still smoke, and you know, every once in a while this or that, but nothing. I don't do hard drugs anymore. I don't really like to party per se anymore, unless I have a reason. Like if I'm going out to an event or like a show or something like that, or I'm celebrating something big, but like I'm not like the go out every night and just get messed up and like you know, that stuff's dumb. And but transitioning out of that was really hard, because as I started to make more music, I kind of felt like found my like safe place in music, and I didn't have to like numb myself anymore. But then what happened is like the less and less drugs I would do, like the harder it was for me to like just get this stuff out. It started bottling inside me, and that's when my music kind of started getting angry.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It was weird.
So, do you ever even now, like, still struggle with any of that? I know you were talking about, like, you kind of felt like music you were making before was not, like, super genuine to who you were.
Yeah.
Do you ever struggle with that now? Even, like, at a smaller scale or anything, to where, like, you, like, I don't know, might write a song and you're like, oh, maybe this isn't, like, really me, or something like that? Like, is that still a struggle, or?
It's not a struggle now, but it is something that's there, because now it's kind of the opposite spectrum. It's like, you and me have had this talk before.
Mm-hmm.
When I make music, I try not to flex. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person that's like, oh yeah, I do this, I drive a Lamborghini, and like music should make you feel something, in my opinion.
Do you feel pressure to
Yes,
flex?
I do,
Yeah.
because it's like, you look at the industry, you look at anybody, and it's like, it's kind of weird now. It's like about how like cool you are, and like how awesome people think you are, and like, you know, people are out here killing themselves, multi-millionaire, like, famous actors and musicians out here, and it's been a thing.
Yeah,
like, just
forever.
offing themselves because of the pressure of like, you know, you see this wall right here, but you don't see what's behind the wall. You don't see all the nasty, like, insulation in there, and probably the bugs, and like all the spider webs. Like, you don't see any of that. You just see this wall, and like, eventually when that wall crumbles, you know, it's just all left out there, and I don't want to be that person. I'm unapologetically me. I like to just like put it out there, and so that way it's like, this is what you get. You know? And so I guess I do struggle with it, but it's on the opposite spectrum. I try to like, I want to just like make fun, like flex music, and like music that, you know, you can just like be yourself too, and just like have a fun time. And I love that, and I make some music like that sometimes, but I try to just be me, and I ask myself when I make something, I'm like, is this me?
Yeah.
Or is this me wanting to be like someone or sounding like somebody else?
Yeah.
And so I'm always under this pressure, I guess, with myself.
Yeah.
To like make something that's so me, you know what I mean?
For sure. All right, so we took a little break because I had to move some footage over that I did not anticipate, but we're back. So we covered a lot of the history, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with you currently. What have you been up to in the past, like, few months? I know we went on that tour with Zach and Riverkin. And yeah, it was just you, Zach, and Riverkin were headlining. And Devil God,
Nick went. Shout out to all of them. But, dude, I've been just locked in this room.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been just, after I went on tour, I kind of just like had this like desire. You know, I haven't released like a ton of new music lately. And like the new music I have been releasing, it's like, it's new to you guys, and it's new to like the fans and everything, but it's all been recorded like 6 months to like almost 2 years ago. Like,
that's how it goes.
You know, me and Zach's new song, we recorded last summer and just sat on it for a whole year because it just like wasn't the right time. And like,
y'all have one more, right? Or was that the last?
No, we have one more. I'm gonna drop one tomorrow.
Bet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's called Demons in My Head.
Hell yeah.
And but yeah, no, I've been just locked in here, bro. I came back from tour and was like, I need to create again. You know, I go through phases where I'll create, and then I'll like just kind of ride off what I'm creating for a little bit, and slowly like I'll create like 10 to 20 new songs in like a month or two, and then for like 6 months I'll just like slowly release them and kind of like market them, blah blah blah. So I felt that way when I came back from tour. I was like, man, I need to make some new stuff. But this time it was a lot different because I have been just going through some different things. I just got out of a really like serious relationship, and I mean, not recently, but like, you know, 4 or 5 months ago, got out of a really serious relationship, and my life kind of changed a little bit again, and what was important to me changed, and I was just feeling a lot different, and I stopped listening to like rap music like altogether about a year ago. It just wasn't doing anything for me anymore. Yeah. The whole like, you know, I love the underground scene and everything, but it just wasn't what was fulfilling me anymore. I would listen to music and be like, this doesn't make me feel any kind of way. So I just like stopped listening to rap and just started listening to like all different kinds of music, everything from like pop music to jazz and like everything in between.
Yeah.
And so I've just been here locked away every night, you know, and I've just been creating and just trying to make something that's like so unapologetically me, and like not like, oh, this sounds like this person or this sounds like this person, like wow, like this really really sounds like Elijah Heaps. And so, you know, that was really important to me. So I know like solitude is the best
Yeah.
antidote for that feeling. You know, you just, when you're by yourself day after day after day and just stuck in your head, you have nothing to do but face your demons and just like accept what is, you know. And so that's what I've been doing. I've just been creating and just like trying to just be me and be genuine, and it's really been rewarding.
So, is your music sounding a lot different now that you're kind of drawing from?
Totally.
Totally.
It's like, it's almost weird. Like I didn't, you know, the last few years I've been like, man, my music's getting really good and like I really know my sound. And then, you know, I did this and I'm like, shit, like this is like, this is really like me. Like this doesn't sound like anybody. This doesn't sound inspired by like one specific person. I haven't been like, you know, binge listening to one artist and like, okay, I'm gonna make this style of music. You know, I just created. And so this is like genuinely coming out of my soul. And all my new music that I've been working on the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, specifically the last 3 months though, I have produced all of it. I've played the guitar on it. I've played the drums, these drums right here, the bass.
That's crazy.
You know, the synth. I've been getting into analog synth a lot and learning music theory and just really diving into the creation behind, you know, just the sound, you know.
Yeah.
And really trying not to just be the guy that just gets some cool beats and just like makes a dope song over some cool beats.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's cool. Like
yeah.
There's a lot of really good artists that do that, and I really respect that a lot, and I respect where that kind of creation comes from. But when you do it all yourself, there's like some magic there. It's like, it feels like it's just like you.
Yeah, well, you own everything,
you know?
too.
Yeah,
so
and I'm not getting sued for samples, and like I'm not worried about clearance and like changing the guitar to make it sound not like this song, and and that's refreshing. It's like, dude, this is mine. Like I created all this. Like you don't ever tell me like that this sounds like anything, or this is like, because it's not. It's me.
Yeah.
And that's been rewarding, man. It's been cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of influences, is there anyone like as of late that's been influencing you, or
there's a like a handful of specific artists.
Like who have you been listening to, I guess?
Really, so first off, I try not to listen to too much, like one artist too much, because you start listening to somebody day in and day out, you will start to sound like them just from, because that's how your mind works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just adapt to what we're doing, and but so I try to keep like my music playlists on shuffle and like keep trying to find new artists. That's been key to me, is like listening to stuff that isn't like really popular, old stuff, new stuff. But specifically, if I had to narrow it down, I've had a huge influence lately from Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is a fucking genius, in my opinion, and makes some of the weirdest, most brutally honest music I've ever heard. 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor is a genius with the production side of things. It's so gritty and industrial and like honest and sexy and scary all at the same time, you know. I love the new Bring Me the Horizon record. Bring Me the Horizon, Ollie is a genius. Their vocals really speak to me. It's like so crisp and beautiful and experimental. They're a band I grew up listening to. I love Bring Me the Horizon when they were making like metal and, you know, hard rock shit and screaming over everything. And then lately they've been under a lot of like backlash for like, oh, you changed. You know, their new album, it's got a song with like Grimes on it, who's an electronic artist.
Really?
You know? And they've got like some songs that are like a little bit kind of rappy and like have like some rap drums behind them and breaks, but it's like them. And anybody who says that shit's not cool is an idiot.
It's progression.
It's progression. And any good artist knows that that's like how music works. You know, music is not the same as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, and it always changes. And yeah, certain influences and styles might come back. Like, you know, emo music, like emo rap is just the child of emo music from the 2000s.
Yeah, well, everything's like cyclical.
And that's how like style is, fashion, you know. Pop culture just comes full circle every once in a while. And
it's like every 20 years, I think people say,
Maybe 10 to 20.
Well, it's probably getting faster.
Yeah, probably.
As time goes on.
Because people are so... Our patience is like this right now. You know, people like... We don't even listen to like full albums. I do as an artist.
Yeah.
But like your common listener doesn't even listen to like a full album anymore. Or a song. I'm in the car sometimes with people and they'll like listen to like...
Half a song.
They're like, all right, new song. Yeah, I was just getting into that. Like, why are you doing that? But, you know, they're really dope. Couple others, I love Billie Eilish. She's insanely creative and cool. And Billie Eilish, I love... man, I'm going blank here. There's a group. They started off called Rad Horror. Their lead singer's name is Dylan. I can't remember his last name right now, but he's a really cool guy, and he's got a side project, or I guess it's his main project now. It's called RH2.
What kind of music is it? Just like
I can't
all
like
over the place?
Put him in a box like that, but it's like a really, really good self-produced like rock, like rock based album. It's like alternative rock, a little bit of pop. But his lyrics really speak to me, and he's really honest about who he is and like his problems and how fucked up he is and how fucked up the world is, and I love shit like that. RH2, I love Lil Aaron. He's a really awesome artist. And my friends, dude, like my friends are really inspiring to me too. I have a lot of awesome people I've met in this journey that make all different kind of genres of music, you know, from like sad pop to like rap to, you know, you name it. And so I just take inspiration from everything I hear around me. Also this girl named Clairo. I don't know if a lot of people. She's pretty big. Honestly.
I found her when she did that. I forget what the song was called, but it was a music video in like her bedroom, with like a webcam.
I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of her videos.
Yeah, it's really old.
Neo Mata, one of my producers, my best friend, shout out Neo. He put me on to Clairo. The first song I ever heard from her was a single off her album that she just dropped called Sophia. And it's just like this like lo-fi.
Is that off the recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's this lo-fi bedroom pop track, and it goes so hard. It's like the inner like 15-year-old girl in me comes out, and it's hard.
Yeah.
I love Paramore. I love just there's so many artists, and I can't like, you know, begin to name them all.
For sure.
But yeah, somewhere in between all that, I love metal music. Love Depeche Mode. I listen to the local jazz station 88.1 KNTU. Shout out 88.1.
Shout out 88.1.
But yeah, it's really just like a lot of like new stuff. I love new sounds. Anything that sounds like something I've heard before, I'm not like too
over it.
into.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Anything that's like trendy is not like cool to me anymore. I used to kind of have that urge to be like, oh, I could be on this way. Like there's no like reason for you to do anything that anybody else has already done. You know, any true innovative creator will always blaze trails, and I think that's like super important to be able to see like if you're making new stuff or if you're just following this path. I would much rather just like walk through the forest and like go where I want to go than follow this person's winding zigzag road, because you don't even know if they're going the right way.
So
you know?
How do you feel like you fit in? I mean, I know everyone likes to kind of group like, I don't know, young people making music into like the whole like SoundCloud rap generation, whatever, or I don't know what you want to call it, but do you feel like you're a part of that or separate from it, or a part of it but like in your own lane, or like how do you feel like you fit into like the current scope of music?
Obviously, you know, very influenced by SoundCloud and that generation, and I would say I'm a part of it even, you know. I have all my music on SoundCloud, and I've made some of my best music and put it on SoundCloud and heard some of my favorite songs on there, but like it's really weird that people put a music platform. They're never like, you're a Spotify artist.
Yeah.
Or you're a YouTube artist. Like, SoundCloud's just another outlet for me, and it ended up being a community. But if anything, I would just say SoundCloud's underground, and I'm definitely underground.
For sure.
I'm independent. I'm underground. I do everything myself.
So do you feel like you are like a
Yeah,
part
totally.
of that culture?
I am.
For sure.
I am, and I'm proud to be a part of that culture. Some of my favorite artists came from SoundCloud and from things that, different genres that haven't been made before came from SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And so, like, being a part of that, it's an honor to be in this. Like, we're gonna look back at this and be like, do you remember when like SoundCloud was huge and like everybody, you know, like we talk about MySpace now.
Right.
You know, a lot of our favorite artists started on MySpace. One of I love Never Shout Never. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, I do.
Christopher from Never Shout Never. He was like a MySpace artist, and
really,
he's still not like he's worldwide known, but he's still just like, you know, him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't think of him like, oh yeah, that MySpace artist, Never Shout Never, you know.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's cool. I think it's just like common people, listeners, the audience. They want to say like, oh, he's a SoundCloud artist. Like, I don't get that, but like,
yeah.
If you want to call me that, go
What
ahead.
do you think about? I feel like rap, like, is almost like an umbrella of like internet culture to an extent, to where like a lot of people don't even make like rap music, but like they're called rappers, or like even with like emo rap, like a lot of those people just like sing, but they're called like emo rappers.
Yeah, no.
So
it's weird.
Yeah, what do you think about rap being like a more of like a culture than like a genre?
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It gives a lot of people a place to fit in, you know. A lot of industries don't accept people for this or that, and like you know, I'd say like the rock scene, they're very like, you know, they're fucking musicians out there shredding the guitar and practicing 8 hours a day, and you know, like, being in a band is hard, dude. I've been in a couple of bands, and I'm trying to put my band together right now. It's hard coordinating 5-6 people to get together all the time to practice and to like make new stuff, and like,
yeah, I'll be on like the same page.
And if you're not like on that level of artistry, they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Same with any industry, I assume, but like SoundCloud, rap, underground, all this stuff, it's like oh, you're dope. Like, you can just like go ahead, like, yeah, if you want to do it. Like, you could be nobody and upload a song to SoundCloud or to like, you know, Spotify or whatever in the community. If it's dope, they're gonna be like, you're dope.
Yeah.
You know, they're not gonna be like, oh, so like, how long have you been doing this, and like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
There are those people, you know, rightfully, but you know, the underground scene was the first like place where I felt like accepted being weird.
Sorry, we had to do a cut again, but we're back again. Okay, so speaking of the underground, I think that's where we left off, and like feeling like you're fitting in. Who are some people that you feel like you've met or have like helped you or like really influenced you, that like are close to you in the underground?
Really, like, the biggest person I got to credit for everything is Chexican, my best friend. Like, that dude brought me from being a suicidal 18, 19-year-old in the pits of hell to pulling me up to being who I am today. And like, people don't see it. That guy even taught me how to make beats. He doesn't really even make beats. He's a producer, and like, that's one of his hobbies. And he's really genius with sound design. But he showed me. He's like, here's this program. Here's how you use it. Have fun. And like, the night he showed me, I started making beats.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, totally. Chex was the whole reason why I started producing my own stuff. He was like, don't use samples. Like, do it yourself. Blah blah blah. Him, Neomata. He's young, man. He just turned 20 years old. And I met him when he was 15. I was on tour, and we found out we both lived in Denton. He sent me some beats, and then like he would sneak out of his parents' house every night when they would go to sleep and drive to my house, stay at my house till 5 a.m. and then go to school at 7 a.m.
That's crazy.
And like, off no sleep. He said he'd just sleep through class and then like make beats and like send me beats, and then he'd come over every night, and we did that for a long time. And he showed me a lot of the underground music that I love today, and like showed me new genres, and he's such an old soul. He listens to like old 70s music and records and jazz.
Yeah.
And he's so like not boxed into one thing. He loves music just like me. So like, we vibe really well, and he'll be like, dude, you should listen to this, and I end up always really liking it. Him, My mom, like my mom honestly started me as a musician. She pushed me to go perform. I started as a street performer with chicks. Like we never played a show,
Yeah.
and she was like, "You guys like literally just sit around and make music." She goes, "You guys need to go out and like show your music." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know anybody at venues."
Yeah.
Blah blah. She goes, "Go play on the fucking street." She goes, "Go to the square or like go to a bar street and
Yeah.
just perform." She goes, "Go to Austin or Dallas or here, blah blah blah." And so I went to Fry Street in Denton, and Denton, Texas. It's like this like college bar street, and I set up on the bar street with checks, just a freaking mic and our laptop on a
Yeah.
music stand. Like not even on a laptop stand, on a music stand with an empty guitar case, no guitar, and I would just rap and sing and freestyle for like 3-4 hours a night, and we would make like 150, 200 in tips. And
That's crazy. Hell yeah.
and that's how I met my first industry connect. The guy that ended up booking me for Waka Flocka, for Riff Raff, for multiple festivals with national artists, for
Yeah.
Ghost Main, like all the big shows I've ever done in my life. I met from playing on a street and a guy stumbling drunk out of a bar who was a really important person,
Yeah.
and saw me and was like, "You're dope, I'm gonna put you on." And I never played the street again after that. ever.
That's tight. That's crazy.
And so like shout out to Matt Battaglia. He was the founder of Octopia Festival, and he has his hands in so many things that I cannot keep up. He runs booking at a venue in Dallas right now. He was awesome. He is awesome. I'll never forget the things he's done for me. Other than that, wrapping it up, like I remember moving
Shout
to
out me.
Dallas. Yeah, shout out T.Aubrey. I remember moving to Dallas and seeing a T.Aubrey video and being like, dude, this guy is an awesome videographer. Like, I'm gonna work. I told Chex, I was like, I'm gonna work with him one day. And fast forward, here we are. And you're one of my close friends, and I appreciate everything you
Thanks,
do
bro.
for me.
I appreciate that.
And Zach, Spaceman Zach, that's my boy. I'd seen him literally come from being this goofy, like, awkward kid to being a superstar overnight, and he inspires me so much to just, like, he's like my reckless spirit animal. Like, when I see Zach, like, drunk, like, in his natural habitat, I'm like, damn, like, that's that energy I gotta keep, because that's why people love Zach. He's just so fun.
Yeah.
Like, he's just got this, like, beyond all of his issues that he deals with in his head, and keeping up with being Spaceman Zach and shit. At the base, he's just so fun, and I love Zach for that. Anytime I'm with him or I'm creating with him, I'm just like reminded how much fun it is to create music, and that's why I started it, because it was fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a serious thing. And all those people I just named, they've all shaped some part of me to be who I am. I tell people, like, I'm really not that cool.
Yeah.
I just have a lot of really cool friends that make me look way better. If Chex didn't take these awesome pictures of me, I wouldn't look that cool. If you didn't film my videos and make me look so cool, it just wouldn't be that way. If my mom wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, wear that." My mom loves 70s rock. And so like 70s like rock fashion, she just pushes on me. And like all these people I named, they're so unapologetic about being honest with me, and that's why I keep them around. You don't keep people around who are just gonna be like, "Yeah, it's cool," no matter what you do. People who know you and are honest with you and know what your intentions are, those are the people you keep around. And so I wouldn't be where I am without any of them.
For sure. Cool. So what plans, I guess, you have for the near future, or even like, far off? What do you got coming up? Or
really, I'm not worried about what's far off, because I know, like, I've seen how the last few years have gone, and I never would have thought I'd be creating what I am now, or doing
I guess nothing ever goes how you expect it to.
So sure. I try to focus on like what's happening right now, and like right now I'm creating like this new sound that is so me and so different than like anybody else or anything I've heard. I've showed you some of it, and it's just like I'm really focused on like curating that sound and making it my thing, and making it like you hear this and it's like, that's Elijah Heaps, dude. And like, or like maybe in the future people are like, dude, that sounds like old Elijah Heaps. Like, like damn, like, So I'm working on new photo shoots, new video shoots, ideas, concepts. My image, my everything that I am right now, I want it to like really be cohesive, and that all starts with just like good planning and just making sure that you do things the right way. So I'm getting ready to release like a new EP. I'm gonna release it as singles, and probably like group together the last few of them and just like put them out. But it's gonna be like a whole experience: merch,
Dope.
all of it. I'm really, really excited to share with everybody what I've been working tirelessly 8 hours a night on, locked up
Hell
in
yeah.
my room, man.
It's lit. Cool. Well, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say, or any more shout outs, or just anything?
I just want to say thanks to you for this platform to share a little bit with you
for
guys
sure.
what I'm about and what makes me who I am. And I want to say thank you to all my friends and my music family. Like anybody who listens to me, they're like my family. They're the people who believe in me. And I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate having this dream and these people hear my words and see what I'm trying to do. And they're like, I believe in you too. Because when that happens, it just becomes way bigger than you. Like,
Yeah.
anytime I get depressed and I think about killing myself or doing some dumb shit, I'm like, man, like, how selfish. Like, all these thousands of people, who knows, hundreds of thousands in the future are counting on me.
Yeah.
They're counting on me to, like, keep putting stuff out. People DM me and tell me, like, you saved my life. Like, I got out of my addiction to heroin because of you. Like, I didn't end my life last night because of your music.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
my
crazy.
words are shaping other people's lives. And so that's, like, so beautiful. But, like, those people don't realize how much they shape my life. They allow me to keep doing the thing that keeps me alive. It's such a beautiful relationship. So all those people, all you guys, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And everything I do, it's for y'all. This isn't about me anymore.
Cool. Well, we'll probably wrap up there. That was a good interview, I feel like.
It was fun.
Um,
I got kind of emotional at the end.
It's all good, bro. Yeah, that was tight. So I'm gonna start doing these more, I swear, and it won't be another year before I do one. But yeah, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Later.